Welcome friends to Elixir Talks. Today we are tackling a bit of an unconventional topic as we discuss the real estate market over the last decade. This analysis will provide us with valuable insights into how things have transpired in GTA real estate, aiding us in making better decisions for both near as well as the long term. Being in real estate, one must stay on top of the market trends. And at Elixir, we do this on a month-to-month basis to better understand the market and at the same time inform our clients. Today, I thought it would be beneficial to do a special session to overview the entire last decade, offering a holistic and different perspective on the real estate market. In this infographic, we see that the TRREB MLS sales that have occurred since 2011 up until 2023 in the Greater Toronto area. From this data, we can infer and understand that the GTA average since 2011 is around 90 to 95,000 transactions or sales in a given year. The last 2 years, 2022 and 23, were outliers. And as you can see here, 23 is by far the slowest year in terms of sheer sales and movement in the market. We will come back to these recent years shortly. For now, let's step back and go to the start of 2011. Market continued in a consistent way till 2015. However, 2016 was an outlier year where the market saw huge demand and supply was not able to cope. There were 113,000 home sales in 2016. This surge was due to low borrowing costs, a strong economy, and low unemployment rates. In October of 2016, the mortgage stress tests were introduced by OSFI for insured mortgages, with OSFI being the governing body of financial institutions. This introduction was to ensure that the purchasers are comfortable with their payments in case the borrowing rates increased. However, this didn't dampen the market, and it surged crazily in the first quarter of 2017. On April 20th, 2017, the Ontario government introduced a 16-point fair housing plan to assist people in buying homes, increase supply, and protect buyers and renters. The major point was the introduction of a 15% NRST, which is non-resident speculation tax, in the Greater Golden Horseshoe area for any purchases made by individuals who are not citizens or permanent residents of Canada. Other points were also introduced to protect renters with rent control, actions to boost housing supply, etc. The market changed dramatically after this announcement in April of 2017. We saw effective January 1st, 2018, the stress tests were mandated even on uninsured mortgages. So even if a purchaser is contributing 20% or more towards the purchase of the property, a stress test was required. In 2018, irrespective of whether it was an insured or uninsured mortgage, everyone needed a stress test. The year 2018 saw only 78,000 sales, and the market remained buyer-friendly, as we can see here in 2017, 2018, and major part of 2019. Then came 2020, and with it, the start of the pandemic restrictions. Restrictions were put in place and pretty much everything came to a standstill. There was nothing called business as usual. The heavy restrictions on movement and the shutting of businesses hampered consumer sentiments. From late February to March 2020, the entire system, including real estate here in GTA, was at a standstill. Unsure of what would happen next, there were a lot of properties sold by panicking sellers in April of 2020, as consumers were scared and wary that global lockdowns would hit prices hard. Meanwhile, in March of 2020 itself, the Bank of Canada reduced the overnight rates 3 times, totaling a reduction of 150 basis points. From May 2020 onwards, the real estate market started to open with restrictions. The allure of incredibly low interest rates attracted consumers to purchase. And despite all restrictions still in place globally, there were 95,000 homes sold in 2020 in the Greater Toronto Area. With 2021, the ultra low borrowing cost and easing of pandemic restrictions simultaneously drove up the demand for housing. In fact, the concept of remote working for certain job profiles also increased the demand for housing. People looking to lower their mortgages, and due to the increased price points, they started to move to places outside the GTA, to places like Woodstock, London, Brantford in the west, and Clarington, Barrie, etc. in the east and north, with a lot of migration from the GTA outwards. Their job profiles allowed them to work from anywhere. As we see here, the market in the GTA alone saw a massive 121,700 sales in the region. In 2022 came the tightening of mortgage rates, and on March 2nd, 2022, the first 25 basis points increase was introduced, with 7 increases in 2022 totaling 400 basis points in the overnight rates. With the stress test already in place, this completely and directly impacted the eligibility and affordability of consumers. This ultimately translated to the market, and we saw that a total buyer inclined market in 2022 with only 75,000 sales in the GTA region. Effective October 25th in 2022, the NRST was increased to 25% for all properties located anywhere in Ontario and purchased by non-residents. In 2023, there were 3 more rate increases done in January, June, and July with 25 basis points each. This resulted in further reducing buyers' eligibility and the sentiments overall. The GTA TRREB MLS saw only 65,982 transactions in this past year of 23. If we see that in 2011, we had close to 90,000 sales in the GTA and average in forthcoming years was similar, consider how many new subdivisions have been built in the last 13 years across the GTA. Countless subdivisions were built in Pickering, Brampton, Whitby, Oshawa, Milton, Oakville, Burlington, Caledon, and so on. With the sheer new volume of homes still in the last 2 years, we had remarkably low sales. This tells us that there is a lot of latent demand that has now built up from the last 2 years, both on the selling as well as the buying side. As and when we hear some correction in the rates or with the reduction in fixed interest rates from major banks, it would result in an impetus to the sales. In comparison to 2011, now we have a way more volume of dwellings available in the GTA region. There is a definite gap and spillover of transactions that will happen from the past couple of years to 24 and 2025. This tells us that it is a good time for first-time home buyers and move-up buyers to capitalize on the bottomed out market and reasonable property prices. The argument could be that the market could go even lower, which is definitely possible, but less probable. And the best informed call based on the data and latent demand I see is that it will marginally rise from here on month. Hope you find this episode insightful. Please share it with your colleagues and friends who might benefit from this analysis. For the best-in-class real estate services, reach out to our sincere team here at Elixir and experience the difference. Thanks for your time and talk to you soon.